Hey Aries, this is your Taurus season reading, post-eclipse reading, everything in Aries reading. All information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended version of this reading. That will be in the first link below. By the time this comes out, it should be there within 48 hours. I just ask, but they've been coming out quick. But you never know. You could be the first one to need some more ease in the process. Yeah, everything's there. Check it out. I wore this on purpose because when I was thinking of what to wear, that's just something that's fun for me. I want you guys to remember to love on your brain a little bit more right now. So much is in Aries. You rule the crown, you rule the head. You know, there's the ego with that too. My cat keeps jumping up. I love you, Biddy, but you gotta get down, okay? He's just like extra hungry lately. The full moons make my cats crazy, of course, and it's kind of funny. But I also I have to find it comical because I mean, they're just gonna go through what they're gonna go through, right? They're like just little animals feeling all the feels just like we are, sensitive little beings, and my cats are so sensitive as well. So take it easy on your brain, take it easy on your head. You may find, and I talked to Scorpio a little bit about this, is that it will be easier for you to then create. You know, creation doesn't come from thinking most of the time. It comes from connecting or being open to the connection you're about to make. It's much more abstract than people who have done it make it seem. I don't think people really narrow it down because I think people are afraid to sound a certain way or actually haven't thought about it too much. But then there are people who have. There are many different sources out there for this kind of knowledge. What this time and what everything in Aries, I feel, is showing people is genuinely where in life they have control and where in life they don't, and the choices that they make based upon that, and seeing it very clearly, the reality in which they live in right now, very present. Some people don't like that, and yet at the same time I will be asking you to look to the future, but it's for an anchoring. So if you have goals and you have dreams and you have things and aspirations, as the Queen of Wands says, even if you didn't, it's now being awoken once again, or maybe for some of you for the first time. You are the birth, and whether or not you've been looking for something, maybe some kind of creation, some form of extending yourself into the world has been looking for you. You may have needed a moment with everything in your sign, and regardless of that, yet with relevance, you've needed to protect some of your creations. There could be a plethora of reasons why, and we will go through those. Maybe they've been stolen before. Chances are, Aries, they have. You and Libra share that. Maybe Libra is showing you that you can't just trust anyone, regardless of how passionate you are and how much you feel as though you connect with them. Take it from their experience. They're not just saying it to you, they're saying it with you. You know, when you're not laughing at someone, you're laughing with someone. Yeah, it's that kind of shit. Maybe perhaps you're guarding yourself from going too far too quick. Maybe you've received a lesson you've needed to receive, and you needed, maybe there has been a lot of fear, and you've been protecting what for some reason you cannot finish. So instead, maybe you take a few of the wands out of the game. Maybe it's when you go to visualize now, something creeps up in your way. Your responsibilities, what you've chosen to do, the person that you are, and how that person is continuously developing in this life. You have a choice. For some of you, you may be at a crossroads. You're like, all that just to get here? Yeah. From the 9 of Wands to the 10 of Swords, this is you choosing to let go of something, a mindset you've been building for a while. It's like anyone who's so dead set and thinks they know, you know, you'll know for a little bit, but then you'll definitely be exposed to what you don't know. And some people take that as an ego hit, and maybe you did. However, it's just there to expand you. It's not personal. It's saying, okay, you've really done it to this far. It's like the universe going like, you've really nailed it, killed it, addressed it in the school of life. Or you just keep hitting a wall, but you won't let yourself see beyond what is already there. For some of you, if you do have your own business or you're in, you're looking to move forward, weirdly enough, during this retrograde and during everything in your sign, you may find yourself looking back and it's like you're moving forward. And this is something Taurus has been has experience with. So maybe Taurus season's like, okay, we can handle this here. You're moving forward, but at the same time, you're looking back because you love what you're letting go of. That you're like, there's really nothing wrong with this. Like, why? It doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with it. It just means that for some of you, you've found your zone of, and these are coined terms, zone of excellence. You found your genius. You found your avenue. But you love the avenue maybe you're already in, right? But the next phase is here for you. You know, it could look like a promotion for some of you. It could look like a change of relational status. And now, and I'm just using those as very, you know, traditional, obvious examples of you reckoning with the sides of you that are able to see and visualize and be the visionary that you are, while also remembering that the plan isn't just for you anymore. You know, what may be best for you isn't always best for everyone. So we have the 2s and the 10s coming out in a pattern here. And it's because you've got to the end of this road. You know, it wasn't just a fork. It was the end of a road that you know you're not going to turn back on. You know that it's over, and it's kind of like this interesting Mars thing that I'm finding the seams here of, I like the power that I had here. I like the momentum I had here. And now that it has to shift, what will that look like? And there's maybe some resistance, some fear, some things that have set you back. And there's reasons, because in a way, this has protected a version of you, this identity, this form of you. For Aries risings, right? A lot is being pulled out of you and asking you to balance a lot right now. And, you know, just like in a different way than Taurus risings, because they're dealing with it in the 12th house. So you dealing it within the 1st house is you're seeing the power of your identity. And right now you have some choices to make, right? You can continue with the plan and add on, or you really can let go, still be a part of it in a different way and build something new. You could have an established job, something that you're good at, but you might be, you know, crossing in a different avenue. if you want to create something, maybe you have a stable job, but now you want to create something, and your focus, 10 of Swords to 2 of Wands to 10 of Cups, is what does fulfillment mean now that I've fulfilled maybe this area, right? It no longer, wherever you're at, no longer can no longer nourish the foundation. You know, you have enough vitamins, like you have enough of a certain vitamin. You don't need to take any more in. It will just flush right out of you. There's no point. You know, like, let's preserve that. Let's stick with that. Let's add on to this in another way. It's you having value in what you already created, but also recognizing that there may be people, it may surprise you what you find out about maybe the people or the situation that you thought was adding value, but really they were just feeding off of what you have done. And granted, if you're someone who's an employer and you have employees, of course they're going to, but there is a way to find not equality, because you're listening and you're letting them be heard, but you're also giving them, you know, more than they're worth, or more than the job is required in whichever state. You're paying them more than the average, right? That will always give, for the most part, someone incentive to work even better, work more efficiently, figure out some things and the added benefits, right? Not to boil you down to like in a job, but this is Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. There's someone who has instilled in you, right, from maybe when you were small, and now it's coming full circle, and you are feeling the sense of security that that person had given you, perhaps a feminine figure in your life, but who held herself to a high esteem regardless of what anyone else thought of her, right? Someone who is in their worth. You know, they cared about what someone thought to an extent, like, you know. And the thing that this is going to do, because you're draining a part of you out, then that part of you will get drained out. You'll notice any loose ends, the ones that aren't tied up, you can get rid of, right? You can just accept, and you can allow yourself to let go, because we also have the 3 and the 3 here. Just notice that as well. And if you wonder what has stopped you from looking beyond, right? You find through just looking from the difference between the 3 of Wands and the 2 of Wands. I just want to show you. They're like this in the spread. Is that there's no attachments in the 3. The 3 is there, whether or not it's like physically accurate or a metaphor, this person is free aside from these wands. You know, he holds 1. He doesn't have to take all 3, right? He's detached from anyone and anything that is stopping them to move forward. Yes, healthy attachments are important. However, it looks like you have the support and you have the protection you need for maybe that first business, that first creation, that first child, that first idea, right? Wherever you're at in the grand scheme of things, you have that protection now. You have the boundaries. You understand, and maybe you need to, you know, write them down so you can always remember in times where things can get fuzzy. And you've decided to carry yourself, you know, forward when you can. So this month may not technically, you might not see yourself literally move forward physically, mentally, or no, physically or monetarily, even though it is that kind of month. But you may be working towards something you will be in quite a few months that will bring you income, but maybe you're investing at this time, right? You're using your resources and your talents to invest in the future. So that's that's where you want to remember, in times where it's hard, in times where you want to fall back, in times where, you know, is it worth it? You remember what you're going for, and you visualize, and you allow yourself to feel and see what you're seeing. And then whatever comes up blocking you from doing that is where you have to address. You know, it's a simple equation. Well, that might not always be easy, but for you it is. You face everything, you know, even to your detriment, you know. So if you're consistently doing that, maybe it's time to just like, this is also for your softness, for your receptivity, by the way. Taurus season is like, let's get soft, but let's stay strong. Like, let's rest until we actually need to put our armor up. Let's build upon what we have, even if that means, you know, starting from scratch. We already know how to do this, and then the rest comes as we continue. And, you know, for some of you, you may have to say bye to someone in particular. There's 2 of Cups on the bottom of the deck that I want to add next to the 3. And then we have, you know, there may be someone who falls from grace in your eyes, and you didn't, you know, there's that attachment coming back into play. You know, didn't want to use your energy this way, and it looks like it hurts, but you're more committed to those. You're just so much more committed to something greater at this time, that as you move through this, if it is infidelity, if it is someone who just you thought would work out and now it's not, that can be a part of why the foundation is, you know, being adjusted. It could be that surprise thing that happens as Mercury goes direct. Maybe you thought you were fixing, or, you know, coming through something together, but the truth is that the other end, that other person just can't hold up to their end of things. So maybe it goes even from, like, if there's a group of 3, there goes to 2. If it's a relationship, there might be, you know, you finding out, and this, not saying that you can't recommit to anything, but that's going to look different, you know. For some of you, it's having this intimate space with a partner, maybe even very specifically re-going over your vows, re-going over your commitments to each other. And this could even just be on a soul level, you really recommitting to what you're putting into this change. You know, with everything in Aries, I'm surprised because the Emperor has been coming out a lot, that it's not coming out here. We're going to get into these cards in the second part. But it's you know, not rushing this process just because you know you're strong enough, right? You're actually, from the looks of it, letting things unfold because you understand the weight and the integration needed at this time. And there's, you know, going to be a few reminders of people throughout this time as well, especially those people who are helping you protect and support you in the ways that you've needed for a long time. You're directing your trust, your emphasis on what a fulfilling life looks like, freedom, while being passionate about something, but balancing how much control you actually have. And I know that's not easy, and you're going through a lot of those. You might even be going through some power dynamics right now, specifically. And you need to be able to understand what it looks like to let go, what it feels like to let go of those without an expected outcome at this time. It's like a true testament. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. We don't have the 1. I may need to sneeze. Hold on. 2s, lots of 2s, 3s. Excuse me. The more you put into your worth, into your time, and the more you narrow it down, because you do have a lot that you're committed to, at this time, to realize you'll see like who's not committed to you, what's not, you know, what's not working out, what is falling through the cracks. Even if you love it, it's just not working right now. Doesn't mean it can't come back. And that's the one thing we have to remember about that cliche. If you let it go and it comes back, yeah, you know, that age-old, very popular saying that what's for you is for you and what's for you will come. And you're experiencing that conscious, subconscious death now too. You know, if Libra's in your 7th house as an Aries sun, Scorpio's in your 8th house, right? Other people's resources. So you might see a slow in resources and then all of a sudden a boom, boom. Stick to your guns, stick to your intuition. Your body knows, connect to your body for sure. There's no crazy major arcanas out. This is you just playing out the next phase of the story. It's like before the next, perhaps, storm, before the next evolution of you. Like we see in many different like long adventure shows, there's always like a lead up, a build up. You don't understand how it connects, but it will. And maybe you do. All right, Aries, we'll get into the next part. All information is below, and we'll see you again soon.